Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Defy Aging. We are now in week 33, and I am Coach Allison to go through it with you. This week, we're going to have two little mini circuits. There's going to be 3 exercises in each circuit, and one is circuit A, one is circuit B. It doesn't matter which one you start in. So some of you will start in circuit A, some of you will start in circuit B. So wherever you start, you're going to do 3 rounds of 30 seconds on, 40 seconds off within that small circuit A or B. After that is done, we're going to take a little rest, but we're not just going to rest and switch circuits right away. Of course not. That's too simple. After that first circuit is completed, we're going to take a little break in the middle to do a high intensity interval training set. That's going to be, I'll just tell you right now, even though we're not doing demos yet, it's going to be jumping jacks for 5 rounds of 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off. So high intensity interval training typically does mean we have, a short but hard work time and then a short recovery, so a very short rest time. So that's where the 20 on 20 off comes into play. So anyway, so we're going to all do that together. So kind of have to watch out for the things that are set up on the floor and stuff, maybe move some things out of the way. After that circuit is done of those 5 rounds, then we're going to swap A and B circuits. So if you started in circuit A, you will now go to B. If you started in circuit B, you will now go to A. And we will do back to our 3 rounds of 30 seconds on, 40 seconds off for your second circuit. So hope that all made sense. So all in all, except for the jumping jacks, we have 6 exercises to review, the 3 exercises in each of our circuits. So let's get to that demonstration. Station 1 is going to be a mini band high knee. It's kind of different. So I already have the mini band around where we want it. We're going to want it just above the knee. Okay, we can definitely use something for balance if you would like. If you'd like to challenge yourself with the balance and just kind of stay out in the open, great too, either or. So what we're going to do is a high knee. It's pretty straightforward. We know what high knees look like. We're going to stay on one side for the whole first half of the on portion of the interval. So for the first half of the 30 seconds. So for 15 seconds, you're going to be doing one side. Halfway through, we'll switch to the other knee. And again, no problem to kind of use a little something for balance. Here's the thing though. Notice how when I'm coming down, I'm not really coming down quite all the way. I'm not coming like all the way down. We want to sort of keep a little tension on that band, even at the bottom portion. So I am not going to fully come all the way down until it's time to switch sides. And now on this side, I'm not like fully coming all the way down. So keep that in mind. This is using our fulcrum or our lever is shorter because we have the band around the knee, not the ankles. So that makes us feel stronger with the movement. And it's a hip and hip flexor exercise, which is very strong. So my point is of saying all that is choose a heavy resistance band. For this, I would recommend the heavy or the extra heavy, probably for almost everybody. So anyways, that is station 1. Okay, everybody, for exercise 2 at circuit A, it's going to be an alternating chest press. A couple of weeks ago, we had the single-sided chest press, so there's some similarities here. But again, I'll tell you to sit down with the weights like this, put them in your lap before you lie back, and then they just kind of fall right into place. So keep that in mind. What we're trying to avoid is lying down first, and then we have to kind of like awkwardly pick up the weights, and that can be, depending on the weight you have, it can be really bad on your shoulder. So please do it the first way that I showed you. Bend your knees for back support, and we're going to alternate the arms for the presses, just one at a time. Don't worry about speed. We're not trying to go fast like anything like that. Just a one solid press on one side, next side. Just keep that going. All right, to put them down safely, we're going to go like this. That is the safest way to put them down, as opposed to, I have a light enough weight where this shouldn't hurt my arm, but we don't want to do this and put it down like a bicep curl because there's a lot of pulling on these muscles and tendons here. So put it down one more time. Put it down like this. Safety first. Anyone who's staying off the floor, we can wheel an incline bench or 2 into the space. Depending on how many people we have, if we don't have enough incline benches, I think we should. But we can get creative and stay upright and use some resistance bands tied up behind us and do some presses. So your coach might have some other variations if needed. But an incline bench is a great alternative. So that's exercise 2. All right, folks, and then exercise 3 for circuit A is a band back row. We do this one quite a bit, so for many of us, this will be a refresher or something we've done before. We're going to have a band tied up to something. A rack is the easiest, just something, a pole, if you have a pole in your space, I don't know. Okay, and we're going to do a back row. A back row is always pulling towards us. There's lots of kinds of rows. You can do underhand, overhand, wide, narrow, blah, 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 but it's always pulling in towards you. So I'm going to keep my shoulders down. I'm not going to allow them to shrug. And I'm going to do a full extension between each rep. So I'm going to allow my arms to fully extend. And then as I pull back, watch my shoulders move first. See that little movement there? Shoulders move first. Continue squeezing your shoulder blades together as you pull back. And the act of squeezing your shoulder blades together behind you naturally kind of causes the chest to then protrude forward. So if you want to have a little bit of movement here in your spine, in your mid-back, because we are kind of doing a movement like this. Squeeze your shoulder blades, chest out, release all the way. Again, shoulder blades squeeze, chest out, release all the way. I typically like to do a staggered stance. I feel a little more sturdy that way. How you stand is your preference. However, just look out for leaning. We don't want to, I'm kind of exaggerating it, but we don't want to do a lean. That's where the staggered stance can keep us from leaning. So anyway, however you're more sturdy with your stance, but make sure we're getting that good shoulder blade squeeze, that good shoulder retraction with each and every row. Okay, so we've wrapped up circuit A with all those 3 stations. Next, everyone, no matter what circuit you started in, everyone together is now going to come together and do our HIIT, high intensity interval training set of jumping jacks. 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off. Quick review of jumping jacks. I think we all know what they look like. If we are someone avoiding impact, we're going to do a step jack. I definitely recommend doing a full step like I just did instead of a tap. Reason being, we get so much more movement out of this than we do out of a tap. So it's for that higher intensity feeling. Totally okay to take out the jumps if we need to. But if we're taking out the jumps, the jumping is a lot of the aerobicness of jumping jacks. So if we're taking that out, we need to make the movement as big and impactful as possible. And in order to do that, I want you to take really wide steps, add even a little bit of a bounce or kind of make it dancey or hoppy. Just make it as intense as you can, taking out that jump. So 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off for 5 rounds of that. If you need to sit a round out because we haven't quite caught our breath enough, that's okay. It's literally in the name, high intensity interval training. It is going to be high intensity because of the minimal break time. So do your best, see how you feel. It burns some good calories if we're really pushing it. Now we're on to circuit B. So the first exercise in circuit B, well, I guess it depends where you start. So one of the exercises in circuit B is a kettlebell squat. It's not a sumo squat. That's going to be the temptation when we hold a single kettlebell, because we typically grab a kettlebell and go like this with the wide legs, right? So it's not that. It's a standard squat. However, you will have to stand wide enough to allow the kettlebell to kind of fall between the knees. So it might be a little wider stance than your typical squat, but again, we aren't doing a sumo. So all of that said, grab a kettlebell and sink into your standard squat. Weight in your heels. Remember, a squat isn't like doing this. A squat is pushing your butt back, tapping your butt to an imaginary chair behind you, and getting as much of a bend in the knees as you can. Okay? So again, it might have to stand, like if I'm standing too narrow like this, the kettlebell has nowhere to go. So make sure you're standing just wide enough for that kettlebell in your arms to kind of sink between. Okay? So that is one of the stations at circuit B. All right, the next station at circuit B, still with the kettlebell, probably lighter kettlebells for this because it's going to be shoulders. And I think we've gone over before, shoulders are weaker than legs. But anyway, it's going to be a halo. So to do a kettlebell halo, we flip the bell up. It's going to be a halo to an overhead press. So I have a stupid hair clip back here, so that makes halos a lot harder. So maybe try to not wear a hair clip if you can avoid it this week. But we go around, keeping it low and tight. When we get to the front, we're going to press up, and then we're going to reverse the direction with each rep and press. Okay, so what I meant by low and tight, we keep the kettlebell like especially in the back, try to let the kettlebell sink as far back here as you can. That's helping with our shoulder mobility. And then keep it tight and low here. So what I mean by that is we're trying to avoid kind of like way up here. So I'm keeping it low and I'm keeping it tight into my head. Okay, for the press, it goes a little bit forward, but for the most part, straight overhead. I just want to make sure no one's going like this, because that, if depending on the weight you have, that if you push forward, it's going to kind of yank you down. So essentially, we're going straight up and down. All right, so alternate the direction with each new rep. I feel like there was one more. Oh yeah, and you always return back to this bottoms up position. So watch, the bell goes bottoms down behind you, and then returns to bottoms up at the front. So I do see quite a few times when I'm training this, people kind of ending like this or thinking. So don't overthink that hand position. It should really just kind of flow. But anyway, bottoms up at the start like this. All right, that is our halo to press. All right, last but not least, we're doing a kneeling bicep curl for the third station. Tall kneeling position. So we do a lot of half kneel things. This week it's that tall kneeling. So we're up on both knees like this. Okay, grab your weights for bicep curls and looking at me from the side. Like I'm sitting up, my posture is really tall. I'm trying not to lean forward like this or kind of back. So nice and tall. From there, we do a standard curl. So palms turned in at the bottom, then rotate the hands towards you at the top, and that's going to be sort of your standard curl. Now, you might have just saw I kind of leaned forward a little. That's why this kneeling position makes it a little harder than standard standing. It's a lot more core work because right here, the weights want to kind of pull me forward. And so you have to engage your core to stay up nice and tall and straight and avoid that. So that is our curl. Now, if we aren't doing knees, we're going to do a standard seated position. So have a bench or a box ready, and you'll have to scoot forward a little bit on it so the weights can come down here. Sit up really tall and straight. Again, that's the same as our kneeling, folks. And do a controlled bicep curl. So either or, whichever whatever you're doing, whether it's kneeling or seated, posture is a big part of this, and core strength is a big part of this as well. All right, so the team builder at the end here. Everyone is going to have to use the same medicine ball, so we might have to have, everyone will have to agree on what weight you're picking. However, that being said, I want you to pick a challenging weight. I just grabbed the first one I saw, but at this club, we do have a 20-pounder. That'd be hard. 12, 10, whatever. Because we're doing an over-the-shoulder team group thing. So everyone will be lined up, like the next person would be facing me, behind me, but you want to leave a good probably 3 or 4 feet between you and the person ahead of you. Here's why. We're doing like a pickup and an over-the-shoulder. I don't know if you've know the strongman competitions. They have that Atlas stone. It's like, weighs hundreds of pounds, and they have to pick it up like this and then kind of bring it up, and then sometimes they have to put it over a pole or set it on a platform. So we're kind of doing that, but our challenge here is getting it over our shoulders. We're going to pick up the medicine ball, bring it up to the shoulder, and then we just kind of let it drop. We're not throwing it. Now the next person behind me would pick it up, let it drop. The next person behind them would pick it up, let it drop, blah, blah, blah. Then we'll turn around. We'll do the other shoulder on the way back. So again, pick it up, kind of hoist it to your shoulder and just let it drop. Again, we are not picking it up and throwing it. So that's where you want kind of a challenging weight, because we're not throwing it, we're not slamming it. We really are just picking it up, placing it, and then letting it drop. Okay, depending on how many people, maybe you'll do a minute down and back. If you have a lot of people, maybe 2 rounds down and back. I'll let your coach decide how they want to run that as far as how many rounds or how long. But that's the exercise. Again, can't reiterate enough. We're not throwing it, but we're place it and then let it drop. Okay, anyway, that's our team builder for the week. All right, everybody, and that's week 33. Hope you enjoy it. See you back next time.